Okay, so I believe you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's start. So we're going to create. So is either you call it visual techniques or you call it style guide. Well, I know a lot of us have heard of style guide. Style guide, yeah. What is style guide? Is actually a guide that help you to create your screens in the aspect of consistency that they believe the likes. Now, style guide will help you. It's like a style guide. This is a local. This is style. Let's call it style. This is style. So we have for the font, we have for the colors. Okay, we have for the colors. Now, a style guide is like a styles that help, like a guide that help you to, that help you for your UI design. Instead of creating different, let's say for example, you're using instead of using 16 regular, 16 this, you are scattering the fonts. Let me explain with an image for you guys. So now you can see that now. Look at now. If you check this one we did the previous time, you see that we actually in our text it was consistent. Now this font size we use here, that is what we use here, and that is what we use here. Then also for here is what we use here. The same thing with this carousel here and here. The same thing for the button. Now if you check, you see that my button is of the same. Like I said when we are creating a button, the width of your button doesn't matter because sometimes you might be designing for tablet, sometimes you might be designing for web, you might be designing for mobile, but the width does not matter. What actually matters the most is the shape, like the pattern. The pattern. Do you want it to be, form of rectangle? Like now, my button is actually a sharp edge. So do you want your button to be sharp, or you want it to be curvy, or you want it to, be just how you want it? Okay, it doesn't matter. Sometimes there are some buttons that that only have curve at this edge and curve at this edge. So it just shows that consistency in your UI. Now, for button, it's just the height, the pattern. Let's say the pattern you want with icon, you don't want with icon, you want with this and you don't want with that. So that is one thing that style guide does. It just help you stay consistent in your UI. Now, if you look at this, my authentication ID, you see that the consistency is there. Now, for the input field, the height of the input field is the same height for the button. Okay, so that is what style guide does. Style guides help you to, just stay consistent in your design. You use one particular collection of icons. Just like you're staying consistent in your design. Now let's create some style. So we want to design a web. Now we are done with the designing for mobile. We want to switch to the web, designing on a larger screen. Now, so I have some elements I added here. So we're going to create all this. We're going to create it. We're going to add some. We are going to add interaction. Some we are not going to add interaction. So for the button, we're going to create buttons like this. Now we have the active button. We have the disabled button. We have okay. Then we have. Let me take this out so you can see it. Now we're going to design. We're going to all these things actually in component. It's component. So you just have to design all of them inside components and then make them variant. And when you're designing yours, instead of jumping back to this page, I'm going to show you where you are going to stay and just drag one of the button and then stay in that same position and change the button. Instead of designing going back to the previous page, you're going to design all of them. I'm going to show you. So this is for button. This is button component. So for button components, we have we have the primary button, we have disabled button, we have the secondary, we have button with icon, or we have just the icon button, we have this and we have that. So we are going to show you, and also going to show you how to create your check button, or will I say a check icon. I'm also going. This is a radio button, and this is for tag. Let's say, for example, feel and on feel, like when you are trying to love a food love a particular food or particular dish on a food app. So I'm going to teach you how to do that inside the component, make it interaction and all. Like I said, not all is actually going to be interactive. I'm going to show you some you're going to do. So now let's start by creating this. So first thing first I will do is I will have to get let's just create a random frame. I'm going to do everything inside this frame. So I'm going to do everything inside this frame. So I'm going to do everything inside the frame. I'm going to take my text. I'm going to add it here. So I'm going to say, so let's say this is going to be color style. So we already have color, but I'm going to use another set of color. So I'm just going to use another set of color. So let's zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to expand this. I want to make it like a tag. I want to make it like a tag for here. So I want to expand this. So let me expand it to 120. I want the text to be big. So this time around, I won't be using that color I used for that full app. So this time around, I'll be using another shade of. So I'll be using just a random color, purple. So I'll be using blue. So let's use this shade of blue. So I'll be using this shade of blue. Is it blue not too shouty? Okay, let's use this shade of blue. So for color style, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to, generate different colors. So we already have the gray color. We already have, so like I said, I just want to use one Figma file so that I won't, confuse you guys. So I'm going to create, we're going to use this shade of gray. So I'm just going to create new one for the blue. So let's create for the blue. So first thing first is I'm going to put this out here like this. So we already know this pattern. So I'll just quickly, do this pattern using the tint and shade to generate other colors. So I'm going to use tint and shade to generate other colors. So I'll quickly just run that through now. What's going on? Okay, so give me a second. Let me connect to my MTN network. I'm sorry, I had to switch to another network. So, because I don't want anything to. Please, mute, yeah, please. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Tint and Shade. So let's just quickly, pick this color. So we already know how to do this. I'm just going to quickly and do this one. So I'm going to use this. So just quickly, we already know how to do this. So let's just quickly create something like this. These two are almost the same thing. So I'm just going to take this and this out. So I'll use this to shape. I think I'll take this out and then use this. So my black is going to be this particular one. So I'm just going to use other ones that I have created before. I think that shade of gray. I'm just going to use those other shade of gray that I've created, sorry. So I'm just going to create this. So this is going to be the one, the two, the three, and this is going to be the four. So then this is going to be white, yeah. So this is going to be white. So what I'm going to do, so what I'm just going to do now is I'm just going to edit only my black to get to this one. So I'm just going to come here. I'm going to copy the color. So once I copy the color, I will click out. So once I click out, I'm just going to come here, right click, then edit style. So once I click on edit style, I'll just come here and paste the color code. So automatically it has picked this darker color. So I'll just come here and then I'll just pick the black. So we already know how to do this one. So I'm just going to put in the color code like a stroke. So I'm going to give this a stroke of this, and then I'm going to make it 0.3. So just for it to tell that there's a white color there. So I'm going to come here my text. I'm going to type in my text. So I'm going to use on the text style. I'm using the same text style, but for the color style, I won't be using for the text style. I'm still using the text style that I created. But for the color, I'll just have to use a new color. So any text style that is not there, remember we want to design for a larger screen by tomorrow. So we want to design for a landing page, a web view landing page. So the text type we already use is what we are going to use, but this time around we're going to go higher. We use from 30 something below. So this time around we're going to start from 60 something or 50 something, depending the kind of design that we want to design. So for the text, I'm going to use what I already created. So I'm going to come to this place. So I'll be using let's see 16 million. So I'll be using what's going on. So I'll use 16 million. So I'm just going to type primary color. 16 is even small. So I'll be using the biggest one there. So 16 is actually small. So I'll be using the 26. 26 is even too small, but I think it's okay. So any need of typing primary, no need. Let's just put it primary. Let's put primary or let's put primary color. Sorry, primary, not primary. So you're going to use primary color or base color or whatever you want to do. Da, 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 da. But I think in this part, I feel we should just use the color code here. So I think I should just use the color code. The local style should be able to, indicate the color, maybe primary color one, primary color two, or whatever color one, blue two, or stuff one to give it like that. So I'm just going to come here. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing here. Pick and paste, like copy and paste the color like this. So we already know this pattern. So I'm just going to quickly run it through. So we already know this is FFF. Capital letter. FFFFF. Color code are always 6. So I'm just going to drag this here. So I'm going to add a new folder for this. So this is going to be black, or let's use the word dark. So I'm just going to drag all this inside here. So I'm going to call this one. So this is going to be primary. Designing with multiple colors, so you're going to indicate it. So I'm going to add it here. I'm going to drag it inside here. So we have that, we have primary. So I'm just just going to make this. So I'm just going to call this maybe food color or red color. Let's just call it red color. Even though we'll not use it, but let's just tidy up this layers so that it will not look scattered. So it won't look scattered. So I'm just going to bring it in here. But remember, I'm not going to use it. So I'm just going to take it down here. So let's just take it down, even though I'll not use it. So I'm taking this up, taking this here. So let's just leave it here. Now we've arranged it. So what we are using is just the primary and the dark. So I'm going to move this whites to this. Just again. So now let's arrange this guys here now. So now we've created our color style. So I'm going to take this out. So I'm going to take this out. So the next thing we're going to create is going to be the text. So we already have the text styles here. So I'm not going to create the text style now yet. I'm going to create the text style when we start designing the larger screen. For now, I'm just going to leave style here. So, but all we need to bear in mind that we are using this particular one. So I'm going to change this. So I'm not going to create text style. So the next thing we are going to start creating now is going to be the input field. So we're going to create the input field. Okay, before we create the input field, let's create the button. Yes, let's create the button first. So once we create the button, we can just bring our input. So we're going to make this. So this is going to be buttons. Now I'm going to explain the difference between grouping, framing, and auto layout. So I'm going to call this buttons because it's more than one. So I want to create a button. So I'll be using this. So let's see a perfect text style for button. So perfect, let's call this. So let's say button. So I want to create my button. So a perfect font size for creating a button is between 20 to 16, depending the kind of font you are using. So some font weights are, you know how different it is. So so I want to create a button font. So what I'm going to do now, I won't be using 120 because it's too much. It's SS. So I'll come here, I will use 18. I'm going to use 18 regular, 18 medium. So 18 medium is not here. So I'm going to quickly create 18 medium. So this is what I have. So I'm going to create 18 medium. So I'm going to take this out. So remember we're using outfit. So I'm going to make it this and then I'm going to add it to my local styles. So let me quickly add this to my local styles. So I'm going to add it there. I'm going to use my gray color. So let's just use grade 4. So now I want to create this button in auto layout. Let me show you the difference in creating button in auto layout, in grouping, and in framing. Now this is a button. Now I'm going to do add shift A to make it auto layout. So once I make it auto layout, I'll just come here and add my fill color. So I'll be using this blue one. So and then I'll have to move and change this to white. So I'll change this to white. So now I've created my button. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to make this up container. So I want my button not to have a sharp end. So I'm going to give it 5. So I'm going to give it 5. I'm going to drag it this way. Now you can see that as I'm trying to adjust this button, it remains in a fixed position, and you can see that it's actually at the center. That's one good thing about. So I'm going to put it in hot container. That's one thing about creating your button in auto layout. But now let's create another button. Let's create another. Sorry, I made this auto layout 2 times. Sorry, I made that auto layout 2 times. So I'm going to just make it once like this and then repeat the same process I did. So for my button, I'm going to use 50 for it. And you can see that I'm trying to adjust everything and it just remain in a position. So this is going to be hot container. So this is going to be hot container. And now I've made so if I drag this button, you see that the text button itself remain at a fixed position. Because using auto layout, you just come here and set it and it remain in a fixed position. Now let's create a button using framing. Now I have this here. So I have this here, and come out, please. So I'm going to change the color. So let's change the color to this so that we'll see our text. Then I'll now right click and now say frame selection. So frame selection, now let's adjust this button. You see that even if I come here and type 50, okay, before I will type 50, let me give it a fake color so that you will see something. Let me show you. So I've already added a frame in it. So I'm going to give it a fake color now. To give it a fake color of blue, and then I'm going to change this one to white. Now we are using like I said, the width doesn't matter. What actually matters is the height. So I want to give it 50. So if I come here and type 50, you see that it's just standing. It's just standing where it's standing. It's not moving. It's just there. Even if I try to drag this like this, I will now have to come and click again and then bring it. I start looking for the center. To start putting it. Then what if now in the time of correction and I said, oh Freda, I don't like your button. I don't like your button. The height is to maybe Freda use 72 and she's not supposed to use 72. She's supposed to use between 45 to 60 and she used 72. And then she didn't place it in components. Now this is the stress that she's going to go through. Let's say this is 72. Let's say this is 72 and let's bring this here. This is the center. And this is the kind of button she actually used. And I said, oh, Freda, you actually use 72. You're not supposed to use 72. What you're supposed to use is between 45 to 60. She wants to say, oh, can you use 60? Now, this is the stress she's going to go through. She's going to come here. She's going to come here to 60. So once she brings 60, she'll now start clicking to start adjusting. You can see there is this stress. Let's assume that she didn't put it in component. This is the stress, and she has done like 35 screens, and each of the 35 screens, she have like 25 that has a button, secondary button, primary button, and disabled button. This is the stress she's going to go through in all of them. So that is why I said designing with auto layout is so sweet. Like it's so sweet. It's complicated at first, but with time is going to be so. So in our next class, I'm going to teach you how to design cards in auto layout. Most of the things we did in our home page, the mobile home page for the food, most things are in frame, most things are in auto layout. But in our interaction class, I'm going to show you how to design those things in auto layout, make it responsive, and then play around with it with prototyping. How you're going to hover, and all. We're going to design that in our interaction class. But for now, this is the difference between creating your button in auto layout and in framing. Grouping is actually the worst. Now, for framing, you can even, let's change this color to black so that you guys will see what I'm doing. Now, for framing, you can take this out from the frame. Now, if you check out this layer, you see that this frame is actually standing on its own. If you check, you see that this frame is now standing on its own. This text is actually standing on its own. Now let's undo this and create a button using grouping. So let's create another button using grouping. Grouping is actually the worst. Like it's the worst because let's imagine that you drag it. It will just be dragged and just be going like that. It will not leave its shell. It will not leave its shell. So let's create this with grouping. Now we have grouping now. We're going to come here and then make it 50. Let's give it a fake color. So I'm going to give it. Now you can see that this grouping now this is what it's doing now. It's showing me that the fake color is actually black. You can see that the fake color is actually black already. So I'll have to take this black out. And then give it this fake color. Now you can see that when giving it the fake color, it was actually the text that was changing color. You can see that it was the text that is changing color. Now, so what is actually telling you that you need to use. Now let's take this out from grouping. Now it means that you have to use a rectangle. So this is what it will now look like. You now have to use a rectangle. You have to make the rectangle 50. You have to make the rectangle, then put a selected color for your choice. Let's say we're using this, and then you now bring this, and then you bring it here. You now bring it at the top. You bring it at the top, and then you now have to hug the content, and then you now hold this, and then you now right click, and then do grouping. You can see that the whole state, somebody that designed an auto layout service even done, and the person is designing the next one. Now, this is one thing about grouping. Grouping is actually the worst, like I said. Now, imagine you design your screen, your button in, let's say, let's make this rectangle. Let's make rectangle 80. Let's just make it 70. Now, you now have to click for the font again, and then you start, you start finding the center, placing it at the center. Start looking for the center. Now imagine I'm even looking for hair. You can see that this is it. And then I will not tell you, Ugochukwu, I don't like your button height. It's too much. You didn't use between 45 to 60. You now start looking for your button. You first of all adjust the rectangle, and then you now come. And let's say in the aspect where you did not use the normal font size, you actually use a bigger. Let's say you use 26 for your font. You now start clicking, holding the font to reduce the font. You now start reducing the rectangle. You can, and then in this aspect now, let's say in this aspect now, you adjust this thing. You to take your time. Somebody that designed with auto layout is even done, and the person has moved to the next stage. That's the thing. Now let's take this button text out from this grouping. Now this is group 1. Let's take it out. Let's take it out. Let me take it out. I'm taking it out, like I'm taking it out. Taking it out. Taking it out. Now it's outside, like it's outside the main frame. Now let's zoom out. Now I'm going to click on this button. Oops. I need to show you guys something. Now I'm going to take this frame, this text out. Now I've taken it out, and now let's click on this grouping. Now click on this group. You can see that even if I've taken this text out from this group element, it will show that you are like, it's giving you that we die here kind of vibes. So that is it. So this is one thing about grouping your element. If you group your elements, and let's say in the aspect that you need to duplicate it, now I need to duplicate something. By the time you just drag it out, it's just like grouping is something that is going to hold it tight. It will not let the text or anything go. All the elements must stick together, except you are taking it outside the entire frame. That is when you do not let go. But as long as you are dragging it inside within the main frame, it's going to stick together. But with framing you can go out, but with auto layout you can go out. But auto layout is actually the best. It's stress free. But at starting it can be overwhelming. I will show you when it will get overwhelmed. But auto layout is actually the best. So when you're creating your button, instead of using grouping, the best is just use auto layout. So I'll delete this grouping. I don't need it. I'll take out the frame button. I don't need it. So what I'll be using is just the auto layout button. So I'm going to take this out. So I'm going to take this out, and so I'll be using this button. So I'm going to hug the button. So I'm going to hug the button. So I'm going to click on it and then come to this place and then hug the button. So this is going to be a hug content. So that if I'm typing the next icon, so if I'm typing the next text, it will be just adjusting to itself. So I'm going to make this a component. So I'm going to hold this. This is my button. I'm okay. So ignore the So this thing, you can come here. Let's make it instead of 73. Let's just come here and make it 50. We're going to make it remain in hot content. So if I make it hot content, it's actually going to be this way. So, but don't worry. So I'll just make it 200 like this, and then I'm going to come to here. So this is where component is, or you can right click and then look for create component, or you can come here. You can right click and look for create component here, or you can click this place. So each any will work for you. Look at it, create components here, or you come to the place. So I'm just going to click here. So I'm going to make this a component. So once I make a component, automatically it's a purple color, and the name here changed to a purple color. So I'm going to name this button. So no, then I'm going to name this like blue button. So this is going to be blue CTA. Let's see. CTA means call to action. So I'm going to name this CTA, blue CTA, or maybe primary CTA, or whatever name you want to give it. So that you just remember this thing. So we want to create other button, but we don't want to create it different, and then make it up components. No. So what we are going to do is we're just going to make it this way, and then we are going to come to this place, this plus here, and then click on add variants. So once I add variants, this is how it's going to be. So the first one is now it should that it will give me these property names and all. So yeah, I'm going to come to this place, this other place that say blue, that I type blue city here. So I'm going to hold it and then call it button. So I'm going to use the word button here. And then the first one that say default, I'm going to make it now. I'm going to give it the right name. So I'm going to call it blue button. So I'll just come to this place default. I'll just double click and then make let's call it primary. Let's call it primary. And now let's click on the second one. Let's adjust the second one and then name it. So this second one is going to be my secondary CTA. You know, we have a screen where we have two call to action. You have to make it secondary a priority and the other one not a priority. For example, the welcome page that says sign up or login. Another one that says sign up or login. When it's in a larger screen and you see a button that says get started or login, stuff like that. So that is what a secondary and a primary button does. So yeah, I'm going to quickly change the button to a secondary button. So I'm going to come to this place. I'll click on stroke. I'll select my primary color. So I'll select my primary color. So I'm going to take the fill color out. So I'm going to come to this place. So I'll come to this place. I will use this my color, and then it's a white color. So I have my secondary button. So I'll just scroll up to the component property and then double click the variant tool and then change the name. Just double click and then change it to secondary. So once I change it to secondary, now I want to create other button. Now I'm going to show you what I'm trying to do here. So this is what I'm trying to do here. So I'm trying to create primary button. So this is what I'm trying to create here. I'm trying to create a primary, but I've done my primary, I've done my secondary. So what I want to do now is my disabled button with icon below the. So I'm going to go next to disabled button. So the next one is going to be disabled button. So like your sign up page, if you have not put all your information in the input field, automatically the button is not going to be activated. So you have to start typing and put all your information before the button will be activated to or move to the primary button. So I'll just come here and click on this plus sign here. Click on the plus sign. So once I click on the plus sign, it's going to show me variant 3. So I'll just say this is going to be disabled. B is actually missing. Yeah. Is going to be there. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use my gray. So in this fill color, I'll be using gray 4. I'll be using gray 4, and the text, the stroke is going to be. I'm going to take out the stroke. I don't need it. So the text is going to be. Let's use gray 2, or we can use gray 1. Yeah, I think this is actually okay. So the next one I'm going to design is going to be button with icon. So the icon I'm going to add, so I'll be using now, the next one I want to create is button with icon. So the button with icon I'm going to do, I'm not going to use icon because I'm not creating a mobile input like this guide that I'm creating. I'm not creating it for a mobile app. I'm creating it for a or web view. So what I'm going to use is a button with this particular loading icon. So I'm going to come to my button. I'll change it to primary. So what I'm going to do, instead of changing the color again, so what I'll just do, I will just undo. So sorry, let me change this to color gray one. So I will just undo, click on this one, and then click here. So this is what it's going to give me. So I'm going to go to my icon path or icon sets. So let's go to icon. So I'm using which icon. So I'll look for this. So this is already which icon. So I'll just look for loader. So it's showing me no match. So let's return back to the icon set. So I'm going to use the general icon and look for loader. So I loader it's going to have. So I'll just be using this one. So let me see where this one is coming from. So you see that you import as frame or import as component. So but in this aspect, I'm importing as frame. So I'm going to bring it out here. So once I bring it out, I'm just going to return back to the icon set. I'm going to take this out, return back to my root icon, and then close it. So I'm going to just bring it in here. This is what I'll just have to do. I'll just drag it and then come to this place. Since I already made this in auto layout, automatically it will just adjust. So all I have to do is just to come here and then change the color to white. I'm done. So this is what we have. And then the next button we are creating, we're going to create with this Google for those people that want to learn how to do it for their mobile app. So we're going to create it. So let's create with this, like sign up with Google. So I'm going to go back to my icon path. So I'll just come to this one. So I'll be using the secondary button. So I'll just come here and click on this plus, and this is how it is. Now, mind you, you can actually open this. Remember, I've not renamed them. So once I'm done, I'm actually going to rename them. So you can actually expand this if you feel like you're choking or your buttons are actually not breathing or you don't like the way it's looking. You can actually expand it. You can, bring it this way, the way you want. So, but me, I just love it straight that way. So let's go and get Google and Apple icon. So I'm going to go back to my icon. Like I said, which icon, if you go to their normal website, which icon is a lot. It has a lot. It has a lot here. So, but these ones that I iconify give to run are just some of them. So let's look for Google. Their Google is not colored, so I'm going to come to this place and look for the colored one. So this is the colored one. Let's see, I think this is actually the big one. This is the small one. So I'm taking the small one. This is the big one, and this is the small one. And this is the small one. So I'm going to take the small one out here. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to look for Apple. So I'm going to click this one. Let's see. I want the one that's similar to the already icon we are using. So I'm going to use this first one. I'll just drag it this way. I think I'm going to drag it this way. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to come here. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to click this now. So I'm clicking on the frame already. So I'll just drag it inside here. You can see that it's already in 24. So I'll just drag it inside here. Then I'll also bring this one, and then I'll bring it this way. So I have created all my buttons. This is like sign up with Google, sign up with Apple, please wait, or maybe you've typed the information and it's loading, and this is the disabled button. So we are going to rename all of them. So I think I stopped here. So I'm going to come here. So this is going to be, I'm going to scroll up back here and change this from variant 4 to button loader. So I'll just use the word loader. And this is going to be Google. So this is going to be Google. Let's put with Google. And let's put this one with Apple. So we've created our button. So this entire component property is now button. So this is what we have. So let's just switch to page 4. Let me show you something. Now, if I come to page 4, and let's say we are designing our landing page in page 4, let's just assume that this is it here. So let's assume that this is it here. And now this is what we are going to do. So this is what we want to do. So let's say my component, this particular page, I just rename it component. Let's say we rename it style guide. Let's use the word style guide instead of component. And let's use component plus style guide. So I'm just going to double click. So I'm going to add plus style guide. So yeah, name your frame so that it will be easy for you to know what you are, getting. So this is it. So let's go to page 4. Let's assume that we're now in our design and you want to go and get that button. You want to get that button. Instead of returning back to that page, so all you have to do is just go to assets. When you go to assets, I'll just click on this. This is my live book. I'll click on it. Now I'll click on component and style guide. Now remember, I already have some of my button that I copied. I'm showing you guys. So these are all of them here. So these are the ones I'm designing. So this is my first one, which is showing me 6. This is my first one here. So I'm going to click on it. So once I click on it, this is what it's going to. So you can come here and select. Now you can see all the ones. Let me see. I wish this can go up. I wish this thank God. Now you can see that when I click on this drop down here, you'll see that it shows me secondary, primary, disabled, loader, load. So it's my primary. I'm just going to click insert. And once I insert it, it's just going to show here. Now, this is it. Now, let's say, for example, we are done with this particular page and we need to use the second style of button for the next page. I don't have to repeat this pattern. All I have to do is just come to this property. I will just come to this place and then select the one I want. Maybe I'm done with this particular screen. I want to move to the next one. I will select this one. Maybe I'm done with that one. I want to move to the next one. I will just select this one. Now, the only thing you're going to do here now in this variant component now is just to change the write-up. It's just to change the write-up. Now, let's say in an aspect where Deborah, she has worked on this hub. She has worked on 74 screens and 54 screens has button on all of them, and she mistakenly used 72. And then I come to her file. I say, Deborah, your button height is too much. Please, can you reduce it to within 60 to 45 to 60? What you have to do is just to right click, go to main component. So once I go to main component, so now return me back to the page, go to main component. Now she's on the main components page. So all she have to do right here now is just to edit this component. Once she edit this component, it's going to reflect on all the 54 screens. Now, editing of the component means when she's editing the height of the component, the pattern of the component. So it's going to reflect in all our 54 screens. Now, she doesn't have to start, editing one of the screens one by one. No, what you just have to do is come to the main component, do the touches on the main component, and it will just reflect in all of them. But the only thing that does not reflect is the write-up. It doesn't reflect. As long as you change the write-up on the variant, it will not reflect in anyone. So whatever you say from the height, yes, it will change. But for the write-up, it will not change. The only thing that will change is maybe you don't want it curvy, you want it sharp. It will change. You don't want it 50, you want it 70, it will change. You want to change this place sharp, this place curvy and curvy. it will change, but the write-up will not change. So that is the beauty of creating your elements button in components. Now let's move to the next one. So these are for button. So we want to make our button to be a little bit interacting. So we want it to be a little bit interacting. So I'm going to bring out this first button. So I'm going to, now it's telling me to return back to instance. So let's say, for example, I'm done editing. It's telling me to return back to instance. So once I click, it's going to take me back to the previous page where I am. So you can see. So let's go back to what we are doing. So sorry, I'm not so that I won't confuse everybody. So the interaction is going to be for tomorrow. So let's just create all the local styles here. So we are done with our button. So I think I'll just have to name this. Let's just call this, instead of button in one big page like this, so let's just call it components. So let's call it components. So the next thing we want to do now, is input feed. Now we want to create our input feed. Now, so what I did here was in an interactive input feed, but don't worry, I'm going to teach you this once. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you, I promise. But this topic is not interactive component, so I don't want to mix everything. So let's just follow it step by step. Going to teach interactive. So we've done for the button. Now the next thing we want to do, we've done the different ones. We have 6 different type of button. Now let's do for the input feed. So the input field, we are going to have the empty input field, success input field, failed input field, different kinds of input field. So this time around now, you guys are going to be the one to suggest. So you guys are going to be the one to suggest the type of input field. Let me see if everybody's actually going. Now, let me see what you guys are going to think out. So now the first input field we are going to do now. First thing first is I'm going to click on my text. So I'm going to call this label. So I'm going to call this label. So this is going to be label. So it's actually 120. I'm not using 120. Just pick the. This is going to be. Let's use. Okay, let's use 18 and see how it look like. So let's use 18. Yeah, 18 is actually perfect. So I'm going to use my black color, not 000. So I'll be using this my black. Yeah. So I'll be using this my black. Now I want to create input field. Remember, I'm using the height of 50. So I'll be using 50. So what I'm going to do is I've created my label. You know how the normal input field is. Let me show you a sample. So you know how a normal input field looks like. So this is what I'm trying to create. Ignore the icon for now. So this is what I'm trying to create. So I'm going to create everything in auto layout. So this is what I'll create, the label, the inner text. I'm just going to use hello world or label. We already know what is label. So, label, let's say, for example, your first name, your full name, stuff like that. So I'll just use label so that I will just create all the same way I use for button. I'm not using sign up, I just use button. So when you duplicate, like when you take the variant, you can now change the name to whatever you want to change the name. So this is how I'm going to do for the input field. So I've done this. So I'm going to also just duplicate this and then put it maybe hello world, or the hello world stands for enter your password, enter your name. So I'll just use the word hello world. So that is what I'm going to use, not this other word, this other word. So this is what I'm going to use. So I'll come here, I'm going to make it gray number 2. And then I'm not going to use 18, I'm going to use 14 regular. Where's 14 regular? My texts are not aligned. So I don't have 14 regular here, but I have medium. So I'm going to take this out and then adjust it to regular. So I'm going to add it as, so this is going to be body text R. So R means regular, R means regular, M means medium, SB means semi-bold, B means bold, BB means black, HB means heavy black. So don't get confused. So if I'm just using like regular, there are some fonts that, let me take this out first and show you guys something. There are some fonts like this one I have. We have even extra bold. So extra bold is EB, then black is BB. So because if you use B for bold here and use B, you might get confused. So if I'm putting my cursor, you can see that it's actually changing. So yeah, T means thin. EL means light, L means right, R. So that is how I always rename my frame. So I don't just rename based on, no, I rename based on what I'm seeing. There are some that you will see heavy black. There are some you will see extra. Please mute. So there are some fonts you will see that are not, some you will see heavy black. So just use, if you want to follow my same pattern, you are free. Just know that you have to indicate R, LL, just stuff like that, so that you just know what you're doing. So I'll be using this 14 is actually looking big, sha. Let's continue and see how it is. So now I'm going to create that's why I'm going to make this a component. Sorry, auto layout. So I'm going to make this auto layout. So for the stroke, I'll be using grade 4. Let's use grade 4. Let me click out. Let's click out. Why is it taking time? Okay, yeah, I think I'm okay with it. So I'm going to use grade 4, and then I'm going to make the height. Remember, I'm using 50 for my button, so I'm going to remain same consistency with 50. So I'm going to use 50, sorry, not 54. So I'll be using 50. So once I use 50, let's say I just put my button height to be 220. So I want it, okay, let's say 300. I want it longer. So this, we're going to have 300. Now it's showing that, so I'm going to bring it this way. Now it's showing that my text is aligned. Now, like I said, 14 is too much. So let's move it to 12. I know the 14 is too much. So let's move it to 12. So I know I did 12, yeah. So this is 12. So now this text is actually at the center. I don't want it to be at the center. So what I'm going to do, I'll just come to this, my auto layer setting, and then move it, align it to the center left. Align left. So I'll just align it to the left. So when I align it to the left, this is, if I'm not okay with this, I can, move it this way. I can just move it. So I'm playing the padding from the left hand side is actually changing. It's changing. So I think I'm okay this way. So I think I'm okay this way. So what I'm going to do, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think Musa, your network. Is only one person that can hear me?
We can hear you, ma'am.
Okay. We can hear you.
Okay, I guess it's your network. So let's continue.
Oh, yeah, you.
Sorry, give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's continue. So this is what we have, and then I'm going to hold with my label, and then I'm going to make it auto layout. Shift A, or you right click. So this is what I have. So now I don't like how my input feed has this sharp edge. So I'm just going to add 5 to it. So once I add 5 to it, this is what I'm going to have. So you just corner it, you just come to this appearance here. We did that in our previous class when we are creating organic one. So this is what we have. Now you can start out move to fill. It has adjust to fill. So even if I come to this place, now watch, even if I come to this place and I don't want to use 30, I want to use maybe 50. If I just come here and adjust, you see that everything will just adjust. See? So just adjust. You can see. That is the beauty. That is the sweet. Would I say beauty? That is the sweetness of auto layers. Like it's so even if, for example, now remember you're designing for a larger screen and you want to do a large input field, you don't have to stress yourself. Just come to this place, you adjust. Everything will just respond for you. So I'm going to return it back to 300. Thank you. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, this is actually active input feed. Now, I'm done with this. So let me see. I think this space between these two is much. I'm going to come here. You see that you come to this place and adjust, or you come to this place and adjust. So if I take it out, it's not more red, pink. So if I bring it here, this is it. So you can just, type whatever number you want to type, or you just, play around with it. So I'm just going to come to this place and then reduce it. So I'm going to reduce it to, 7. Okay, 5. 5 is better. Yeah, 5 is better. So 5 is better. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm okay with this, my pattern of button. What the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to do auto layout. So before I do auto layout, I will need a tiny text. Let's say I will need a tiny text here. So I'm going to put this tiny text here. Let's say let's just put the word. So let's put the word. 1 R is actually missing. Let's put error. When you're trying to put your password and it will tell you, your password is incorrect, la 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 la, da, 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 da. You remember? So that is what we are trying to create. So remember, we don't have asset color. We don't have asset color like the red, information, warning, and sources. Now this is where we have to go back to our color and create that. So we have to stop whatever we are doing here, go back to our color to create that. Now let's go back to the color. We don't have asset color. What we have is just the permanent and the dark color. Now let's create our asset color. So I'm just going to pick these 3. Okay, 4. There are 4. Information, info, warning, error, and sources. So there are 4. So I'm going to pick the colors. I already know how we already know the colors. So I'm just going to tell you the shade of colors we are going to use. So sorry about that. My son refused to sleep, so I'm going to be saying something small. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to design is going to be the information color. So if you don't know the shade of information color, you can just come to Google and type. So let's just say assets colors. Assets, did I spell it assets? No, assets colors, color code. So where I normally get my own is I normally generate my own from my head because I already know the shade it is. But now, if you don't know how to do that, you can just go to community and get the color code. But right now, I'm just going to create the color code from my head because I already know how the colors look like. So I'm going to create that from my head. I'm sorry, but I have to. So this is the shade of blue. So this is the shade of blue. So I'm just going to pick this here and paste. So this is going to be sources. This is going to be sources. So sources is green. this agricultural kind of color. Hey, who on mute now? Please now. I don't know. I can't. Please unmute your mic here. Be cool. Thank you. So I'm going to use this shade of green. Copy the color code. This I'm going to have for warning. The warning is yellow. So this is yellow here. So pick the color code. And then we have the last one, which is red. FF0000, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to type in the color here. So I'm going to, create my asset color. I'm going to do that quickly, sharp. So I'm going to do this here like this. So this is going to be info success, warning, and error. So this is going to be success. The next one is going to be warning. Okay, so I've done this. So I'm just going to quickly, place them instead of leaving it scattered. So let's just arrange them in a folder. So this is going to be assets. Now we are done. Let's go back. So I'm going to create this here. I'm going to make it my asset color, which is the red. I'm going to hold this together. I'm going to make it auto layout. So once I make it auto layout, this is how it's going to look like. So I'm okay with these two here. So I'm going to hold it and then I'm going to turn off the eye. So I'm going to turn off the eye. So then I'll hold all these ones together. Now I've turned off the eye. So that when I'm creating different variants of, scatter my design and all. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'll just come here and then make this a component. So once I make this a component, I'm going to make this a variant. So once I make this a variant, so I'm going to hold this and then call it input field. So this is going to be input field. So the first one is going to be active. So no. The first one is going to be the first one. So I'm going to come here and call this active. So the second one is going to be inactive. Like you have to, let's say, let's make this like a field. So this is going to be like, we're going to use grade 4. grade 4 is actually looking too dark. So I'm just going to take this out this time. I'm going to take this time and then adjust it to a lighter color. I think this is better. So once this is better, I'm going to automatically add this to grade 5. Take note, please. So I'm going to make this grade 5. So I'm going to take out this stroke here. So the next, this is going to be inactive input. So this is going to be inactive. So active, and then we have, so I'm going to duplicate this. So this one is going to be when I'm about to type, like when I want to type. So I'll just use L here. I'll make it, let's say I'll make it my blue color, about to type. So I'll make it my blue color, and I'm going to make it 14. Where is 14? 14 regular. So I'm going to make it 14. So I'm going to, then the next one is going to be something. So this is going to be, I'm looking for what to type. Okay, let's just use the same hello word. So I'm going to use this, and it's actually 14, so I'm going to take it out and then make it my green. Let me make it black. So this is how it's going to look like. So now we are going to create for success and error. So this is what we are going to have. So now in this aspect, now this is what I will just have to do. So I'm just going to click on it. You remember we've not changed the name. So this is going to be variant 5. So what I'll just come here to do is I'll just come to this place and then turn this eye on. So this is going to be error. And then duplicate this. And then this is going to be success. So this is not compulsory that you have to do this, but if you are designing something that will require something like this, that is when you have to design. But I'm just showing you the different kinds of input field that you need to create. So the next one I'm going to design, the next one I'm going to do now is going to be an input with eye icon. So this is going to be like this. So you can just take this out. So I want to take this. You can now, since it's in components, either you click delete or you close the eye. Anyone which you just, once you click delete, you just automatically close the eye. So either I click delete, you just close the eye. So I'm going to get icon, icon, and then I'll add it here. So, but I won't be using for input feed now. Input feed for password, we have active, we have the star, and then we have the one that has open with star, and then the one that has closed with with the number. So that is what I'm going to design. So now I want to design eye icon. I want to get my closed eye icon. So that is what I want to do. So let's go and get the component. Sorry, the icon. Okay. is well. Okay, which icon is not giving me the kind of icon? I want that icon with latches. So I'm going to just type icon and get a good icon that has with latches. So which icon is not giving me the one I want? And now let me just go and source for icon that I want. I know it's going to be a different icon pack. This one is looking like human being eye. So I'm going to just take my time and look for a better icon. So I think I'm not seeing what I want because these eyes, they're kind of scary. So I'm going to just use this type. But now I have to calm down and look for the ones that actually match together. Okay, let's just look for showing me filter by icon sets. Let's use fonts for some icon. They're not giving me what I want. That icon. Let's see Google material icons. It's not giving me. I need something that has close and open. Let's look for font awesome 4. There's where this icon look like somebody looking up. Where's feather icon? Okay, let's look for font awesome regular. Look at this one. Wait. I think this is I think I like this. I like this. This is giving bombastic side eye. Come out. Okay, it's already out. So let's look for. So I selected regular. So let's look for font awesome regular. This is giving bombastic side eye too. So I think I saw some. No. So I'm trying to just stay in font awesome lane. Let's see for. I've tried bold. Let's see for font awesome bold. It's giving bombastic side eye. Let's just switch out. Where is the let's say material design icon? I think I've seen what I want. This and this. So guys, this is a fill icon. This is outline icon. Fill outline, fill outline, fill outline, fill outline, fill outline, fill outline, fill outline. So let's use. I think I'm going to use this and this. So let's just stay with material design icon. I wanted that icon with latches. So I'll use material design icon. So I'm going to take this feather awesome icon out. So I'm going to close this. So what I'm going to use now, if a text is actually open, we are going to use this. So I'll just take this here. So once I take it inside here, this is what it's going to look like. So I don't know why it's taking time to reflect. But I think 24 is okay. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold this and then make it come. I'll scroll to the top and then I'll make it odd. So once I make it odd, this is how it's going to look like. So I'll just come here and 22. So I'll just come here and make it 22. Okay. So once I make it 22, I'm just going to hold this and then make it my gray one. So this is what I have. So I'm going to duplicate this again. So once I duplicate this, I'm just going to repeat the same process. I'll just take this just take it inside here. So once I take it inside, this is how it's going to look like. So I'm just going to delete the other one. So I'm going to delete this out, and you just fix this one thing about auto layout. You just take the position, take cover, so just take the position. Then all I have to do is just to click on the icon. So once I click on the icon, so I just click on the icon and change the, sorry, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to come to this place and change the color to my gray one. So once I change to gray one, this is going to be, this is telling you close. So this is going to be star, 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 star. So this is going to be star. So I'm just going to put 8 star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is how it's going to be. Now, we've created all our input field that we're going to use in our design. And like I said, in our next class, I'm going to show you interaction. Like I'm going to do this interaction for you guys. Like I'm going to show you how to do interaction. Just just one input that will do for search this. But this one is just the display. What is in section? A display of the input field I'm going to use in my design and all the buttons I'm going to use in my design. Why is it in section? I don't know why this is actually showing me section. So sorry, let me use a file, a dummy size of file for it. So the next one we're going to design is going to be radio button, and also we're going to design for radio button. So we're going to design for radio button. So let's do for radio button. So I want to design a radio button. So I'm just going to use this. So you can use circle, you can use, so for me, I prefer using rectangle. So for radio button, I'm going to use 60, 60. And then I'm going to make the corner radius to be 50. So the corner 50. So this, looking at this radio button 60 is actually too big. So I'm just going to make it 50. So I'll just come here, I'll just click on this place. And then I'll just, once it's blue color, look, ratio. So lock the ratio. Once it's blue color, I'll just come to the place and type 15. Automatically it will just respond. So I'm going to give it stroke of my color. Then I'm going to make it 3. Let's make it 3. And I'm going to take the thick color. So I'm going to have this way. I'm going to have this way. And I'm going to make that. Oh my God, I forgot something. We did not rename. You did not remind me to rename my input field. Okay, let's create our button finish and then we'll go back and rename our input field. So once we are done this way, I'm just going to make this a component. So once I make this a component, I'm going to, okay, before that, let's create the before we move. So I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to make it 38. So once I make it 38, I'm going to bring it at the center. So once I bring it at the center, I'm going to give it a thick color and take out the stroke. So I'm going to give it a thick color, this, and then take out the stroke. So I'm going to hold it 2 and then make it auto layout. So once I make it auto layout, this is how it's going to look like. And then I'll make it a component. Before we make it a component, so yeah, I'm going to make it a component. Yes, I'm going to make it a component. So if I make it a component, I'm going to add variants to it. So once I add variants to it, this is how it's going to look like. So I'm just going to delete this other one. So I'm just going to click on delete. So I'm just going to click on delete. So once you click on delete, it just close the, it's just like going off. It's not actually deleting. You just close off. So the best thing to do is just to sometimes to close it. Like I prefer closing the eye. So this is how it's going to look like. So I'm just going to come here and name it radio button. So this is going to be radio button. Radio. So let us put it radio. So this other one is going to be checked or clicked, and the other one is going to be not clicked or unclicked. So depending how you want to put the name. So this is going to be clicked, and this is going to be unclicked. So depending how you want to, whatever name you want to give it chapter 1, chapter 2, A, B, open, close, whatever name you want to give it, no problem. So this is what I will have. So this is what I'm going to have here. So I'm going to check this to. So let's go back to something that we forgot to do. So we actually forgot to rename our, to like give our input field label. Try to not confuse us when we are, So I think I stopped here. Not sure, but let me check. Yeah, I stopped here. So this one is going to be when typing. So I'll just so I'm just going to put this typing. So this is going to be display. So this is going to be I'm not clicking on the right. So this is going to be not clicking on the right. That's why it's not coming out. So double click and then this is going to be display. So the next one, this is going to be so I'm not clicking on the right thing, that's why it's not coming out here. So go back, I'll just scroll up a little bit and then click on the right stuff. So this one is going to be error. Going to be sources. So this is going to be error. So the next one is going to be open. So this is going to be close. Password close or close, just close. Anyhow we want to put the English, no problem. Then this is going to be open. Okay. So this is what we have. So even if we go to our asset now, if we come to this place now, click on your assets, we click on, we're already on the components. This is an input field. So let's go to our own. So we already have input field. Please now, mute, please. So we already have, this thing. So if I come to this place, I already have I want to show you the input field. So if I come to this place, click on this input field. So I already have active, inactive, typing, display, error, sources, close, open, whatever name you want to give it. Anyone you select, it automatically just give it that one. But since we're already clicking on the component, there's no need for that. So we've done our radio button. Our radio button is actually looking big. But when we start adding it, we're going to know if it's actually small or not. So now passing the mic to everybody to suggest things. Now, this is me asking you guys question. What are the things that we need to create more apart from the button, the input field? What are the other things that we need to create in components? Something that we are going to use multiple times. So over to you guys. Let me hear from you. Like names.
Sorry, I was off. Didn't hear the last thing you said.
Esther.
Yes, coach. The call came in, so I was distracted. Sorry.
Okay. The question is, apart from input field and button, what are other things that we need to create in component that we are going to use more than once? So that is the question. Let me see if you guys, it's just like, because it's something that you did in your design. So let me see if you guys are actually making research or you guys are not making research. Let me hear. So how did you do your assignments?
Assignment where I was repeating everything individually. It choked.
I think we need to create the navigation bar.
Navigation.
Yes.
But we are not designing for, the only thing we are designing by tomorrow is a landing page. So we don't need navigation. We only need header. But leave that one first. That one is going to fall under interactive. Drop bar. Drop bar, it means more like drop down. Yes, we're going to do that. Cards. Those one you guys suggestions. These you guys are suggesting are for interactive. It will be done by tomorrow. Sorry, by next topic. Our next topic is interaction. Banner. Interaction. Banner.
Coach, can we create a component for icons instead of always going to Iconify to get icons?
Components for icon. Yeah, you can, depending the kind of icons you are using. But why? How many components are you? How many icons? I said, yeah, you can. That one will toggle button. Yes, thank you. That one will fall under interactions. Drop down menu. Drop down menu falls under interaction. It's a component, yes. A component, yes.
Okay, now I don't know what to call it. There is this thing we create at the bottom of the page that shows that you're moving. I don't know, it's like interaction. Maybe you're on page one, page two, page three, and then the button. I don't know what I'll say. The component keeps moving. Maybe changes color from ash to a colored button, showing that you're on a particular page. Can we do components for that?
I don't understand what you're saying, Esther.
There is this three dots that's on the page. Sometimes indicates that you've moved from page one to page two.
Carousel.
It's used in different pages. Yes.
Carousel,
Can we
yes,
create
yes, we can.
components like that?
Yes, we can, but we are designing for a web view, not a mobile. We want to design a landing page by tomorrow. You guys are pushing me to do interaction. You guys are like pushing me, I should do, I should do, I should do. Okay,
Yes, so
okay.
this is very important. For instance, when you click on a button, this changes, then it changes
Check
again
button,
when it's
yes.
clicked on. Yes, check buttons.
Check button, yes.
We need to learn.
Okay, fine. You guys won this battle. All right, so we are going to create. Let me scroll towards suggestion. So somebody said drop bar. So this is your drop bar. I believe you refer drop down menu. So for drop down menu, yeah, we are going to do it. We are going to do it, yes, now. Then somebody say cards. Christina, I would really love to do this card, but let's just leave it for tomorrow. When we are designing a landing page, we'll do the card and do the interaction at once. Okay. For banner, you're going to do it at once. But the kind of this your banner, I actually don't understand where you're coming from. Is the banner going to be a clickable or is just going to be displayed? I think you will have to explain more for me on Kemi. Then Fred has said drop bar. I believe she said she meant drop down menu, which you are going to design. For footer, do we actually need to design a component for footer? We can, but we are not going to design that. Menu link. Yeah, we are not going to design that for footer. Yeah. But for header, we are going to design only the text link inside. Then indicator. Okay, indicator. I don't know the indicator you're saying is what Esther said. If it is, yes. Check box, yes, it's check box. Menu link, yeah, menu link. Oh God, L and R. Menu link. We are going to create it just for the header, just like what Christina suggested. So I think I understand where she's coming from this header, but we are going to make our job very easy and we are going to convert that into menu links. Okay, so since we are actually going to design a landing page, so let's quickly design for checkbox. This my radio button is actually looking big. It's big in my eye. It's big, very, very big in my eye. But don't worry, if you have to move it, we just come to the component and edit it or adjust it. Okay, so let's quickly design for checkbox and then we move to drop down and then we move to menu links. Now let's design for checkbox. So I'm going to use this. There are some persons that actually use this say eclipse, but I think I prefer using rectangle and give it a corner radius to the desired size I want. So this I'm going to use I'm just going to make this here and then play around with it. Let's use 50. This 50, okay, let's use 50. And then let's use I love using icon. I noticed that some persons actually use pen to do that good. I don't know how to do it with pen icon. There are some persons that actually do it this way. So there are some persons that do it this way. There are some persons that use icon. Me, I prefer using icon. Let's try another pattern instead of using icon. Let's switch. So I'm going to make it corner here, yeah, around here. So I'm going to put these two together and then place the position as a center. Okay, this is not bad looking at it. So auto layout, let's see if auto layout work on this. Yeah, auto layout will actually work. So this is okay. I have 50. Okay, I have 13, 8, 13, 8. I think this is okay. So I'm going to give it corner radius of 5. Let's see 5. Yeah, I think 5 is okay. So I'm going to turn the black to white, and I'm going to turn this to blue. Yay! So this is how it's going to look like. So this is our good check. It's actually looking too big. So I'm just going to come here. Now I don't know how to play around with it. If it's an icon, it's going to be perfect for me. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to play around with it. So I'm going to move it to scale. Then I'm going to come here and play with only the width so that the height just automatically adjusts. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to make it 30. So once I make it, this is going to look like. Let's make it 29 and see. 29 is not bad. Yes, I'm going to take it out from scale and I'm going to hold this here and then come to multi layout and then I'll place it at the center. So I'll place it at the center. So once I place that center, this is how it's going to look like. So I don't know, this checkbox is actually looking too big in my eye. But once you start designing and once you start designing and the checkbox is actually looking too big, I will come to the component and adjust it. But yeah, I will come to the component and adjust it. So right now, this is how it looks like. So let's just quickly place that in components, then add a variant. So I've done that, and yeah. So this part, I'm just going to add stroke. So I'm going to add stroke of this and so I'm going to make it 2. I'm going to take out this here and I'm going to delete this one off. Yeah. So this is what I have. So I've done that and then quickly rename them. They're looking too big in my eye, but nevertheless, we're going to change it. There's some checkbox. Okay, so let's do some interactions for the ones that we've done. So don't forget to rename it, but I just have to ignore it for now. But don't forget to rename it too. So let's do some interactions for what we are going to design. So what we are going to do now, we're going to do interaction. Sorry, give me 1 minute. One hand. Yeah. Play the mouse. You know you're distracting me, this boy. Go and keep it. Don't come here again. Sorry about that. So now let's do some interactions. Let's do some interactions for the button field, the drop down, and then the text link that we are going to use for our landing page tomorrow. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do now is the button. So I'm going to, like I said, this is this. Okay, let me just call this one display component, and then this one is going to be interaction. So let me reduce this one here, and let me duplicate. So once I duplicate, let me just duplicate this and call it IC, interactive component. So let's just add interactive to it. So we are going to have our interactive components. So I'm going to expand this. I'm going to also expand this. So I don't need all this because this is like the display of the component. So this is going to be for only interactions. So I don't need this. Okay, let's just, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take it out. I will drag it. I already have the display. So I just need so I'm going to drag this. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to delete it. I don't need it. I don't need this one. I also don't need this one. I'm going to create a fresh one. I don't need this one. So I need these two and I need this one. Wash your hair. Okay, so let's do some small or simple interaction. I will call it simple, it's not difficult. So let's do some interactions. So I'm going to come to prototype here. So I want a situation when I click on this, it responds, and when I click on this, it responds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the first one, the one that says click. I'll just drag this to the second one. So once I drag it, settings is actually going to come up. So it's going to carry the previous settings for me. So I think I'm okay with click, and it just move instant. So I think I'm satisfied with the instant. So this is this one, and let's do the second one. I think I'm okay with the second one. So I'm just going to zoom in, click on this to this one. So remember, if you are clicking in, that's why I say rename it. So when you're clicking, you will know the name where you are clicking. So this one is going to be variant 2, which is like the or unchecked, or maybe open, or maybe whatever name you want to do it. So this is what I'm going to have. So I've done for, I think I'm okay with these settings, so I'm not changing it. So that's why I'm going with it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to test this interactions I did if it's going to work. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to get a frame. I'll just dump this frame here. So I'll dump this frame here. I will scroll back to here. So I'm going to take this one. So I'm going to call this one like a male, and the other one is going to be female. So I'm going to I'm going to take the male. That is this clicked one. Now I'm not dragging, but I'm duplicating. Like I'm duplicating. Will I call it duplicating? No, I am taking it. So I did not drag. I only just highlight and then drag and duplicate. Sorry, drag and duplicate. So this is what I have here. So I'm going to click on this frame. I'm just going to come here to preview. Let's preview it from here. But if you want to present and go to a larger screen, you're free. So, but let's move. Let's go to the larger screen so that you guys will see it very, very clear. So we'll move to the larger screen. Let's wait for it to load. So while it's loading, we can just set up this and then start setting up every other thing. So I hope this loads very fast. let me reduce my let me reduce some things. Okay, so we have this. So we have this. So when I click on it, this is how it look like. I'm clicking on it actually. So this is how it look like. So same thing with this. This is actually looking thin. This is actually looking thin. So I will go to the component and adjust that. So all I have to do now is just to come to this component here, and then I'll adjust that. So this is actually this should be like 2. So I'll make it 3. So I'll just come to the components here. Now this is one thing about components. I don't even have to go and stress myself. I just come to the components here and then play on it. I'm trying to click on it. I don't know what's going on. So I want to change this should be like how many? So the yes. So I'll have to make it 3. To make it look stand out. It's looking thin. Let's make it 3. Now if I come back to this component now, you can see that it has adjust. So I click, this is how it look like, this is how it look like. So now let's do for the button. So let's do for the button. So for button, I want to make my button to hover, like over. I want to make it to hover. So now there is something that I did not add here. Now I did not add an over button. Now, so I'm going to come here and duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate my active button and I will have a over kind of button. I believe you know what is over. I'm trying to look for one of my design that has this over effect. Let me see this app I did use popular. I know I did. Oh, they no longer have a landing page. Maybe they've not paid. I'm trying to look for a site I did that has this over effect. I actually did that on Use Popular, but it's more than 2 years now. So I think they've not paid for that their Google domain name. I think that is fine. Over. This is not like this is over here. Yes, this is over. But I want if we hover, it's actually going to give no, this is like it's actually this is an over button. But I want it if my cursor comes to this place, it should be able to change color. It should be able to change color to this. Where's my color code? To this shade. Where's the second shade? Yeah, you should be able to change to this color. Like when I hover, I should be able to change to this color. So that is what I want. So I did not add it when creating my display button. So I'm going to add it. So I'm going to come here and then add it. Remember I said this is more like display. So I'm going to add it. So it's going to come under. So once I add it, I'm going to change this to color blue. This is giving this far away sibling. Like the shade, they are off. The off is too much. So I'm going to play around with it. So I'm going to come here and then play around with it. So I'm going to click out. So I'm going to click out. The first thing first is I'm going to click this so that when I'm playing around with it, I'll be seeing it and I'll get the desired color I want. So I'm going to click on it. I'll come here. I'll first select this one so I can know how to play around with it. So I'll select the main one and then I'll play around with it. Yeah. So I'm just going to bring it this way. Okay. Now the difference are not that much. So I'll just copy the color code and come here. I'll click out. So once I click out, I'm just going to go to my color code. And then I'll come here and then paste it. So once I paste it, this is what I have. Actually, the difference are not that longer much. That other one is all like giving these faraway siblings from a different hometown. So I'm going to come to this place. Okay, that's already adjust. Thank God. That's already adjust because of the local style. You can see how to make your work easy. That's already adjust. So now I already have this is my hover. So don't forget that you have to, label. So I'm going to come to here, scroll down and call this hover. So this is going to be hover. That's hover effects I'm trying to explain to you guys. So this is what I have. So I'm going to have my button. So let's for my button. So I have this. I already created this is actually in component. So I'm just going to do the variant. So I'm going to click on it and then do the variant. This is already in component. This is already in component because I just drag it out from those ones before I delete it. So I'm going to change this to hover. So this is going to be hover effect. So I'm just going to come here and then select color blue color 2 or yeah. So once I select this, and this is how it's going to be. So I'm going to come to my prototype. So I'm going to come to my prototype and then I'm going to come here. So I'm going to give it that hover kind of effect. So I'm going once the settings come up, so it won't be click. Yeah, it's going to show hover. So I'm just going to come here, make it Y hovering. So I'm going to place it in Y hovering, and then this is how it's going to look like. So let's play around with this interaction and see what it look like. So I'm going to take this. So I'm going to bring this here. So once I bring this, I'm going to come to this place. Now you can see that once my cursor goes, it change color. So you can see that once my cursor goes, it change color. So in your design now, in your design, we are going to do two. Once you design your landing page, you have that hover. So then when you now click on click, like when you now do the click, it will now take you to the next page. Don't forget the difference. Now this is what we have, and we've done for the hover. So this is how the hover effect look like. This is how the hover effect look like. But now if you want, let's go another pattern. Let's just play around and see if we can do something apart from the regular thing we are seeing. Let's see if we're trying to reduce the button size. So we have 200. Yeah, let's just play around and see if what I'm trying to imagine will work. So let's see. So you can see this is what is given. So let's just put it 180. 20 is too much. Let's take 10 out from it. Let's just take 10 out from it and see. So you can see that this is what we have. But if you look at, let's not make instant. I'm just trying to play around. As a designer, you just need to start playing around with it. So let's take it from instant. Let's see smart animate. I'm just trying to play around to see. Smart animate is giving this. Okay, let's put it to slow bounce. Let's see bounce. No, let's put in gentle. I think I like gentle. Bounce is giving this kind of bounce. So I think I'm going with this, but I will have to make it 400 milliseconds. So I think I like the gentle is gentle. So I think I want this my over effect. I want it to be visible so that everybody see that it is there. It's not slow. Okay, it's not slow, it's okay. So I think I'm going to make this. Let me make it. This is 190, right? So let's make it. Yeah, I think let's see 195 and see how the outcome of it. So you can see that it's just the component I'm playing and I'm testing where I've duplicated it. I think I liked. Okay, let's do something. Let's do another thing. So I'm going to make this button 60. Now, if I make it 60, I'll have to go to my display component and then make it 60. But I'm just trying to play around. But I think I'm okay with 55. Let's see 55. Okay, I just. Do you think this is better? No, I think I'm comfortable with my button being 50. Please stay remaining 50. And let's make this to be 48. You're looking I big like small at the same time. But let's leave it like this, and let's leave it this way, and there's the width is just going to be 5. I think this is perfect. This is okay. Yeah, this is okay. So we've done interaction for the button we are going to use on our landing page. So we've done interaction for all the text. So the next thing we're going to do for is I'm following by your suggestion. The drop down is going to come last. So we've done checkbox. So I'm going to go for, so Christina and Ugochukwu suggested the same thing. Menu link. Let's do menu link. So we want to design a landing page tomorrow. Just a random landing page that has the home, the about us, the services, the contact us, and maybe blog and sign up or sign in, get started. So that is what we want to design tomorrow. So let's design the text link. Sorry, you actually distracted me.
I can't hear anything again.
Same.
She's muted now, so I think she's.
Hello, ma.
Probably she's attending to something.
Okay. Sorry about that. My son is awake, so it's kind of distracting me. So I'm so sorry I went off. Okay, so let's continue. So let's continue. So the next thing we want to design now is the text thing that we're going to use for. So I'm going to follow. Oh yes. I'm going to follow to what you guys suggested. So for the card, Christina, we're going to do that tomorrow. Don't worry. Oh, I missed toggle button. Don't worry. I'm going to design that. Okay, so let's go with what Christina and Ugochukwu suggested, text link or menu link. So we are going to do that in interaction. Remember, we start doing our interactions for our landing page tomorrow. So let's start. So text link I'll be using. So I'll just click on my T and then type. So in the same way we did. Okay, let me not say anything. Let's just do work on it. So I'm using 18. This font is actually looking small. This is 18 medium, right? Yes, I'll be using 18 medium. So I'm going to just make this way, and then I'm going to make it auto layout. I'm going to make it auto layout this way. So I'm going to put it in hub. So just like this, and then I'll make it a component, and then I'll add variant to it. So I'm going to add variant to it. Now I'm just going to so I'm going to rename this as home. So this is going to be home. So this second one, I'm going to make the second one now. Just click on the text inside. So the text inside, I'm going to make it my blue, and this is going to be gray. This is going to be gray one, and so this is going to be green one. So I'm going to make this regular. Where it's 18 regular, but I'm going to make it like. So I'm going to just do the same thing. The same thing I did for the button. This button hover effect. So that is the same thing I'm going to do for here. So that is the same thing I'm going to do here. But that text link now is let me see if I have some of the landing page I did. CareerEx, your CareerEx. So I want to show you guys something. So I want to do something, not something like hover like this. We can actually do something. You're welcome. We can actually do something like this, We can. We can do something like this, We can, or we can do instead of making it to hover like this. Let me see if they are done developing these sites. I can't wait to see you guys live projects. Okay, I don't think this side. I don't think they are done with this side. So let's see for another one. So I'm just opening all the project that I did. I'm just opening all touchpad ahead, touchpadgame.com. This is my most recent project. So we want to create something. Coming soon. Oh no. Let me see. I didn't do anything on this one. So I want to do a situation where if I move this cursor like this, now it's showing that it's clickable. But if I move this cursor like this, it should be able to show me color, like it should be able to change before clicking. Like it should be able to do this like this. This is actually hover effect. This is actually an hover effect. Or we can do this particular ones. Or we can do if you just come to display, the hover effect is going to change color. Or we can do this one that is going to, move this way. So each anyway can work. So let's go back to this is it here. This is it here. So this is the one where I will do the two and I will show you. So this is what so we're going to go that same hover effect we did for the button. So this one is just going to be like this. Why? Don't remember why hovering. So it's going to pick the last one, smart animate. So this time around, we're just going to do instance. So we're just going to do instant. So I'm going to take this out. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. God, I thank you. Emmanuel. So sorry about that. God, I thank you. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we want to do just the normal this pattern where your cursor will just going to just change color. Okay, that's what we want to do here. So why the other one, we are going to do that one that is going to, kind of expand and all. So we're not going to do it in a development way. We're just going to do it in a design something. So that is what we are going to do. So we've done the first one, and then we're going to duplicate this one and then do the second one. So I will just add, not to confuse myself, I'm just going to add dash and over. So I just add dash and over. So just I'm going to duplicate this one, and then I will rename this one to be dash and bounce. What are you running to? So I'm going to call this one home and bounce. So I'll just use the word bounce. I just want to differentiate them so that to not confuse anybody trying to, have access to this file, or, for you guys, yeah, not really me, because if I don't rename my file, I actually understand what I did. So this is going to be bounce. So I'm just going to do that bounce kind of effect, but in a designer's way, not actually in a development way. Okay, so let's do it. So I'm going to click on it. So let's play around with. So this is going to be so first of all, I'm going to come to my design. Let's play around with the text first. So this text, I'm going to so let's take this thing out from here first. So let's make it 17, and let's make I'm trying to see for that line spacing, text spacing. Let's make it -3. Let's make it -3. Let's see minus. Let's okay. So we already have this in auto layout. So let's be sure that it's actually at the center. Yes, it is. So I'm going to. This is actually in regular, right? This is in regular. Yeah. So I'm going to come to this one, check if it's in regular also. So I'm trying to give it that kind of hover, kind of effect something. So this is in regular and this is in medium. Yeah. So I'm going to click on this and then come to prototype. Now I already have this. So I'm going to play around with the smart animate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word well, but I guess so. So should I do gentle? So we are going to test it to know. So I'm going to come to my design. I'm going to click on this. So I'll just copy this to and come to this place. So I'll come to my design here. My prototype, sorry. This is actually what we want, but it's giving that this is just the plain one. You put like this. But this one is giving that other one. But I think the timing is not okay. So I guess this is the bounce one. This is the bounce. So I'll just come here and then play around with the timing. Now the issue we have is the timing. So come to prototype. So I'll click on it. I'm going to click on it here and let's drag the settings up first. Okay. So now let's make bounce low, gentle. Let's just customize spring. Let's just customize spring and see. So I'm just playing around with it, yeah. But if all this customized now, if we try it now, you might not understand what will happen. Cut. It's just like somebody trying to fix it. So I'm not using customize. There are ways you can use that customize. They just use what is suggested. So let's see it in Olina. I think the Gen 2 is actually okay, but we just need to work on the timing. So I won't be using 800, I'll be using 300 milliseconds. MS means milliseconds. So let's come here. I think this is okay. Yeah, I think this is okay, but I will use my 18, but let's go back to it. Let's go back to design. I'll use my 18. So I'll use my 18 medium. So I'll come back here. I'll use 18. I'll use 18 here, and I'll use minus 2. So I'm not touching the prototype. So I'm just let's make it. This minus 2 is actually not visible. So let's make it let's make it 4. I think this is okay. Yeah, I think so. Use your choice. Either you do this one or you do this one. I think I'm beginning to like this one, which is this. Or you just do. I did not reflect this here, so you can just do the one that it will just change color. So or you can do this pattern. So the choice is yours. So it's either you do this one or you do this one. So let's continue. I'm just going to do, I think I like this one. I'm going to do for this particular one. If you check the previous cohort video, we actually did for this one. So this cohort, let's do for this one. So let's read about us. So I'll just leave this one here. I'll leave the hover and I'll use the bouncing. So I'll duplicate this. So I'm going to call this about us. So let's change. Let me duplicate and then change the name. About us, our services, blog, contact us, and then we already have the button. So this is going to be here. So I'm going to change this now. Remember, we put our text in auto layout. So we just design and then it will just, we already put that in our content. So I'm just going to come here and say about us. So if I click on this, you can see that it's actually seeing auto layout. You see one thing about auto layout. You see auto layout. Auto layout will help you make your work so smooth and easy. Like I would say sharp, so smooth, easy, very fast. As long as you set the first one, you're good to go. So this is going to be about us. And we know we already need that settings, so we are not changing it. So we already need that hover kind of setting. So the next one is going to be blog. Where is it going down? It's supposed to go up. So this is going to be blog, or let's use the word our services first. Our services. You can see that it's actually, if I zoom in now, you see that it's actually in auto layer 10, 10, 10. It's because it actually places it in hug content. So if you hug your content in auto layout, you can see they call my content in auto layout. So whatever you are typing is for you. But with frame or grouping, I don't think you can achieve this because you can see that our services, the length is 121 For about us, we have one. We have, I'm seeing 70. Okay, I click. We have 73. So this is going to be like 100 and something. This 101, and then here we have like and here we have like 48. So if you use framing to show that you start adjusting, start placing at the center, start doing this, start doing that. But if I tell Freda and Kemi now, Freda use frame, Kemi use autodidact. Before Freda will even start doing her about us, Kemi is even done and she has done all her interactions. She's even starting the landing page. But with Kemi, with Freda using the framer, she's still trying to adjust, fit position, do this or do that or do this. It's actually, not fast enough, but with auto layout it's very, very fast. As long as you put the right settings and everything. So let's move to the next one. So the next one is going to be our blog or blogs. Well, let's use blog and then contact us. So I'm going to duplicate this one. And I'm also going to duplicate it. Why is it going down? Go up or whatever. So we're going to duplicate the next one to contact us. Go up. So I'm going to keep this one here. I'm just going to quickly rename them. We're not changing the prototype. We're not changing it. It already has the prototype from the first one. That's why we're just making it. Sorry, it already has the prototype from the other one. That's why I'm just duplicating it. I've gotten how I want my text to be. I've already gotten how I want my prototype to be. So all I have to do, if I've set the first one, I'll just duplicate and change the text and then the name. That's it. So if you check, it's showing home bouncing, home bouncing, home bouncing. What I will do once I'm done setting changing the name, the component's name. So this is going to be blogs. So if I click here now, you see that it has actually hooked this content here like this. So I'll just come here and then click blog. So this is going to be blogs. So I'm just going to reduce this components frame. So the next one is going to be contact us. Contact us is actually going to be long. So I'm just going to drag it this way here. So this is going to be contact us. So let me drag it out a little bit. So I'm going to say contact us. So I have this like this. So now we've already what I'm going to do now is just to change the names here. So I'm going to change the names here quickly. I'm going to do that quickly. So I already have, so this is going to be contact us. You want to see this. Okay, so we have this now. So I'm going to create, now we don't have logo. We don't have logo. So I'm just going to get a dummy logo from Equipment. So I'm going to get a dummy logo from plugin. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to come to this place. So I'm going to just use an existing logo. Web logo, digital logo, da, 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 da. So let's just use a logo logo, Nigerian logos. So I'm going to create on run. I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to run. So I'll be using. So let's open those Nigerian logos. There's a way you can get dummy logo. There's a way you can get. Now it's telling me to search for company. Let's search for Piggy Vest. So I'm going to import as SVG. Yeah, so I've imported as SVG. So I'm going to come to scale. I'm going to scale this logo. It's actually too big. So I'll scale to 400. Then I'm going to remove it from scale. And then I'll drag it to this frame here. It's actually not inside the frame. So I'm going to take it out. Take out. Click it again. And then drag it inside. It has refused to enter inside the frame. I'm going to repeat the process again. Okay, it's now inside the frame. Hallelujah. So it's now inside the frame. So I'm going to create a header, just like what's her name again? Kristen has suggested. Yeah, just like what Kristen has suggested. So I have created the text link or menu link that Uchuku suggested. So let's create for header. Now, this logo is actually looking too big. So for header, we are going to use, our normal frame size for a web. You know how to do that. So I'm going to click on frame, not the region 2. I'm going to click on frame. I'm going to use for dashboard, I'll be using desktop. So I'll be using desktop. So desktop size is 100 times 1024. But since I'm already creating for this is it. So since I'm already creating for just the header, so there's no need of using frame. I'll just use auto layer. This is where I will have to use auto layer for my design. So I will have to reduce this logo. So let's leave to reduce logo first. So I'm going to I'm using this bouncy. So before we continue, let's test our other buttons if it's actually interacting. Sorry, our text link or text menu or menu link, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if it's actually responding to that prototype we did. So if it's not, then I have to go back and adjust. I want to click all of them at once. Okay, so I already have one is outside. Why are you just stubborn? Why is this text so stubborn? Let's do it manually. I can't even find it. Okay. Just want to ask stubborn. So let's keep it here. Let's go and test what we've done so far. Okay. It's giving one. I'm kind of seeing something like shadow. I don't know if you guys can see something like it has something like shadow. It's giving this vibration kind of thing. So let's go back to our prototype and then I'll make the adjustment. So I'm going to use like I'm going to show prototype. So I'm going to use like this particular one, our services, to make such changes. So I think I will take it out from this Gen 2 and I'll move it to quick. So I'll use quick and I will 600. So let's come back here. I'll use our services. Well, let's take it out from this smart animate and use dissolve. Let me see. Okay, no. Let's use instant. Sorry. Okay, if we use instance, it's not giving me the time. I want to use smart animate and I want to take it out. Let's use ease in. There's this time. Oh God, what did I do? It's giving me this time something that's okay. Let's use speed. So sorry, I think I mistakenly closed that prototype tab. So let me open it back again. Then so that we can test our prototype. I think it's up. Okay, so let's come back. Show prototype settings. So what did I use? I think I used quick here and 600 milliseconds. So I'm just going to apply all of them. So I'm going to come to this place. Okay, so I'm going to go with speed. Let's just go with speed. So I'll be using this one. So I'm just going to quickly create my header now using AutoDeck. I'm not going to use frame. I already know that the frame width I'm going to use is 1440 desktop frame size. So I'll be using Piggyverse logo. I will have to borrow their logo. If you please pardon me. So I think this one I will no longer use this one. I will use all the one. I'm going to since there's no, I'm just going to pick this this. I'm going to duplicate this part here. So I'm just going to place their position here. So I'm just going to go with tidy up. So I'm just going to tidy them up. So once I tidy up, like tidy up means the spacing and positioning. So I'm going to tidy up now. So the home is supposed to come first. Then, so I'm just what I'll have to do, I'll just hold this and then zoom in and then click here and then change the position. So I'm going to hold all of them now. So I'm going to hold all of them here like this. And then I'll do it auto layout. So once I do auto layout, automatically it will just adjust. So I'll just come here and then put it in auto. Or so that once I've done the auto layout, it's not up to the size. There's no need of me adjusting. I'll just come here and then adjust. So I have to borrow PGBest logo and then I'll make it auto layout. So once I make it auto layout, this is what I have. So before I make it auto layout, I have to use my button. So I'm going to get this my hover button here. So I'm going to duplicate my hover button to this place here. So once I move it to this place, I'm going to change the logo. I'm going to change the text to maybe get started. So I'm going to change it to get started or sign up or whatever I want to use. So I'll just use get started. Or we can, let's use get started. So I'm going to reduce the width of this. So I'm just going to come here and then play around and reduce it to 130. Now because it is in org, you can see that the spacing inside did not adjust. It just because it is in the org, the spacing inside. Let me hold this. You can see that the spacing inside did not, still correspond like it's in org. That's why. So what I'm going to do now, I want to create my header. So I'm going to hold my button and I'm going to hold these guys I made auto layout, and then I'm going to do auto layout for it. So once I make this auto layout, I'm going to come here and then put org on alt. I'm going to put it in alt. Like so I will just adjust it and everything will remain in its position. Because remember I'm designing this particular stuff using auto layout. I don't want to use frame. I want to use auto layout for everything. Now I have made it so what I'm getting is 11339. So I'm just going to put 1. Now I have put it this way, so now you can see how it is. So what I have to do now is to place it at the center. So once I place it at the center like this, now this is what is going to give me align to the center. So this is what is going to give me now. It will show that there is no padding in it. So padding I'm going to do now. The padding I'm going to do is going to be the same grid margin for grid, the margin. If you remember when we were setting our grid, the margin that we're going to use. So I'm going to come back to this frame that we're going to use. So I'll come back to this frame that I'm going to use. I'm going to create my margin for this frame so that I will apply that in my auto layer for the padding. So I'm going to come here, click on this frame. I'm going to create my grid system. So how many of us remember how to create grid system? I hope we've not forgotten. So for grid system, I'll just scroll down, come to this grid, click on the plus, it will open this way. I'll click here, come to columns. So once I come to columns, the settings for it to come out. So for larger screen, I'll be using 12 count. I'll use this color. I will use stretch, but if you want to change it, you can change it. But for I'll be using, okay, let me change it to blue. Let's change. So for using stretch, for this color, let's use this blue. Let's use the shade of blue. Let's make it opacity of let's use opacity of 6. So for the margin, I'll be using 80. Let's see 80. So for margin, I'll be using 80. For the border, I'll be using 20. Now I think I'm okay like this, and then I'm going to set this to be so this is going to be web grid. So now we already have a mobile grid on this particular frame. So we are going to have a web grid. So I'm going to come in now. For the margin, we are using 80. So for here, I'm going to set my padding to be 80. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to make this now. So I'll make this padding here to be 80. So I'll be using 80 here. So once I use 80 now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this height. Now I'll use 90. So once I use 90, this is how it's going to look like. I already add my grid system to it. So I'll just come to this place and then add my grid. So now, it's actually a white color. So I'm going to add my web grid. So once I'm adding you can start this. I'm going to add a peak color of white. So you can see that our information. You can see that our information actually crossed the grid. So what we are going to do now, we're going to play around with it. So first thing first is we are going to adjust this one. Sorry, not itself like this, but they just the right up. So I'm going to adjust this one. Let me zoom out. I don't know why it's picking it 1-1. So I want to, the first one we did auto layout. So I want to adjust it this way first. So I'm going to adjust this here. So first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold this one first. And then I'm going to come here and then adjust it. So I'll just come to this place, adjust it, or you can just zoom in and then hold the gap between each object and just hold it. I don't know what is happening to Figma. So I'll just come here and adjust it. We're going to hold the second one. Now, this particular component, this particular element, this particular frame, this particular container, and then the button. I already made them in auto layer, so I'm going to hold it. So, if you check, you see that it actually crossed our grid. So this is already, I'm going to place this at the center, and then it's already in auto. So all I have to do is just to drag it this way. So while I'm dragging it, I think this one is actually reflecting. What is happening to Figma? So you can see that this was actually reflecting. It's remaining small. So I'm just going to zoom out. Okay. So you can see that it's remaining small. So I'll zoom out here. Then I'll just come here and then now you can see that this is where my padding. Oh, this color that came out shows that it was my padding. So you can see that it's my padding 79. So I'm just going to move it by 1. And then that blue fill color will just come out to show that it has gotten to the end. To show that it has gotten to the end. Now this is what I have. This is my header is now ready to be used. So I have it 19. So for this particular one, I won't bother putting for the top, like the up. This particular place, the up and down here. I won't put vertical padding. I won't put for vertical, but for horizontal padding, I think I'm okay. Or if I want to make this by 100, if I want to make this by 100, I can just come and make it by 100. But for the padding, I won't put padding since it's already here. So now let's take this, this is our header. So you're going to rename this and call it header. So I'm going to quickly call this header. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just take this and then put this on my frame. Once I put this on my frame, I'm just going to place at the center and then move to the top. So I'm now going to preview this landing page. So you can see that our logo is actually too big, very, very big. So I'm going to now preview this page. So let's preview only this one. So let's allow it to load. We are done with this one. Let's preview and see. Now we'll start designing our landing page. So when we come back tomorrow, we'll design a full landing page. We'll do the card interaction. We'll do prototype for the landing page. We'll design a landing page and then we'll do the prototype for the landing page. So, and everything we're going to design, we're not going to design in frame, we're going to design in auto layout. So you can see that our logo is actually too big. So I'm going to set this. I'm going to set this. So I'm going to take out this UI. Now you can see that our logo is actually too big. What is going on? What just happened? Something happened. So let's adjust this. So let's adjust all this. Let's go back to our design. So first thing first, we are using our logo. So I'm going to place it in scale. So I'm going to make our logo 200. So we've done this. So I'm going to make this. So let's make this out and then drag this one from here. Okay, so let's see what I've done so far. So I'm going to refresh this. So I'm going to refresh that. And let's see what we've done so far. So you can see that we've done our header. But this time of designing this header. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, ma.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, sorry, I got the call. Okay, let's continue. So we restart this. Now you can see that hi. So you can see that we've done something like this. And then our button. So you can see that we've done the header. So when we come tomorrow, we are going to design a full landing page. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pin this header. Now you can see that if I scroll up and down, it's actually moving. So we talked about pinning something. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to click on this, come to my prototype, and then pin, come to this place, and then fix, stay in one place. So this is going to be fixed. So once I come to my prototype, if I scroll up, I'm scrolling up and down with my touchpad. If I'm scrolling up and down with my touchpad, you can see that it's actually fixed. So when we come tomorrow, we're going to do um we're going to do we're going to do for toggle, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to do for card, and we're also going to do for okay, you guys did not suggest anything again. Yeah. So we're going to do like a full landing page design. A full landing page design. We're just going to borrow Thingiverse logo. We're going to do our own full landing page. Not full though, full Full landing page. We are done with full. Let's switch to another pattern of landing page, another pattern of project. So we're going to do for a full landing page, and we're going to do a prototype for one page. If I click on home, I should be home. If I click on about us, our services, it should be about us. About us is supposed to come before services. So I'll just go back here and change it. And then if I click on blog, it should take me to blog. If I click on contact us, it should take me to contact us. So tomorrow we're going to design that. So I've just come to my design here, and then about us is supposed to come before our services. So what I'm going to do, I'll just come to this page. I'll click here. So I'll come to this here. I'll just click on about us and then take it to the top. Yeah. So we are good to go. So I hope this little example I have showed you guys, or this little class, is actually not confusing, but convincing that you will take product design as a career. So we're going to continue tomorrow. So you can feel to ask